All right, it's time for our fourth installment of our new series, What Are Viewers Carrying? All right, today we're kind of starting off where we left off yesterday because Toby Flenderson, and I can't believe people in this world are actually named Toby, your name is Toby. And he's from Indiana, and he is also carrying a Taurus 605 poly protector like we saw yesterday. The only difference is this one isn't poop colored. Well, unless, of course, you got a lot of blood in your stool. If your poop is this dark, you probably should see a doctor. But he's carrying, like I said, the 605 poly protector that I think is a very interesting gun. I think it is a highly underrated gun, and I wish I could find one for myself to give a try to, but I haven't seen one in person in a long time. A 357 Magnum lightweight polymer-based revolver. So a very cool gun, and it looks like Toby is the second person I've seen carrying one so far. All right, next we have Cam Gaylord, or as he's affectionately known in the chats, Cum Gaylord. And he is from Tennessee, and he's carrying a Smith & Wesson M&P Bodyguard. This is also a gun we don't see very often, and it's also got a polymer frame on it. The thing that kind of sets this one aside from a lot of the other M&P revolvers is that polymer frame and that unique cylinder release that's up on top. I kind of like that. That's kind of cool. This gun is pretty interesting. Now, I would prefer it if it was a 357 Magnum, but it's nice that there's some people out there like Cum Gaylord who are not afraid to express their feminine side by carrying a 38 Special, and that's why he's carrying this Smith & Wesson M&P Bodyguard in Tennessee. All right, next we have Rory C Smith, and he is from Texas, and also Rory's not a real name. Where is someone getting the name Rory? That's not even short for anything. At least I can see where Cam and Toby are short for something, although grown men shouldn't be named that, but Rory, come on, let's get real with these names. Now, for somebody with such a silly name, he's carrying a really nice gun. He's carrying an HK P2000, and this has the LEM trigger. I'm not sure if I love the LEM triggers or if I hate them. I actually prefer the other more standard, double action, single action with a manual decocker. But, the LEMs have their place, and apparently their place is in Texas with Rory C Smith. All right, next we have Jeff Schaeffer, and he's from West Virginia, my home state. And he is carrying one of my favorite guns, a Smith & Wesson 686 PC. Now this one has the snubby slab side barrel and the unfluted cylinder, and he's put some aftermarket grips on it here, and this just looks awesome. I mean, I'm telling you, being from West Virginia tends to mean you have good taste. And like I said before, that you're also pretty and well endowed. So this is Jeff Schaeffer from West Virginia's gun, his Smith & Wesson 686 PC. Shut up, you don't know. All right, next we have Eric Deagel. Is that how you pronounce that? Deagel? And he is in Nebraska. I didn't even know there were people in Nebraska. I thought it was just some cows and that was it. And he's carrying his CZ75P01 Omega, which I don't know if that's enough to take down a cow. At least not quickly. So if I was living in Nebraska, I might carry something a little more powerful. But maybe he lives in the part of Nebraska where the cows and the people have friendly relations. And I didn't mean that to sound quite as perverted as it does. But like I said, this is Eric Deagel from Nebraska and his CZ75P01 Omega. All right, next we have a very disturbing picture from Bill B, supposedly in Louisiana. But based on this picture, which is kind of creeping me out, I'm afraid he might be actually hiding in my crawl space. And he's carrying his Smith & Wesson 442. And that's basically all I want to say about this because, like I said, I'm afraid he might be hiding in my crawl space. And this picture is obviously the result of a very disturbed mind. So the less said, the better about Bill B in Louisiana. And I'm putting air quotes around that you can't see. And his Smith & Wesson 442, which I hope he doesn't have with him right now. All right, next we have John in Florida, and he's carrying a Springfield Armory Hellcat. Actually, this is the first one of those I've seen yet, and I thought I'd see way more of these, but this is the first one. So John in Florida you get to be the first person on this list that's carrying a Springfield Armory Hellcat. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a decent little gun, but I'm not saying being the first person to carry one is actually an honor. It's kind of like, being the first person in your nursing home to lose their virginity. There's really kind of a bad side to it if you pay a lot of attention there. But John from Florida is the first person that I've seen carrying a Springfield Armory Hellcat. All right, next we have I'm Fat Man from Ohio. And that name there makes me kind of wonder if he had a scene from his life, what would the graphics be? I don't think they would be like bam and pow. They'd probably be like pant and wheeze and sweat profusely. But he is from Ohio, and he's carrying the Beretta PX4 Compact in 40 Smith & Wesson. These are excellent guns. I've been a big proponent of these guns for a long time. The only thing that I would say he should probably do on this gun is switch that safety decocker out to one of the 92 style ones that are much more comfortable. But other than that, these guns are great all around, and this is a perfect gun for any fat man's utility belt. Right beside their knife fork combo and their tactical canister of emergency gravy. All right, next we have Tactical Wingnut, and he's from Texas, and he's carrying a very nice SIG M18. Now he's done it up here. He's got his loophole, or however you pronounce it, red dot on there. He's got a compensator on the front, and I still think compensator is a very good name for these because I don't think they do anything to compensate for recoil, but they're compensating for something, if you know what I mean. He's also got his Streamlight on there, and he's got the Gucci frame from Wilson Combat, so he's ready to rock with his M18 from Sig Sauer in Texas. All right, next we got Tyler from Wisconsin. People named Tyler shouldn't live in Wisconsin. They should be like in Connecticut or something. And he is carrying his Ruger LC9S Pro. Also another gun that I don't think gets as much attention as it should. Nice, small, 9mm gun. Just a really good quality product from Ruger. It's kind of simple. Doesn't have anything fancy going on for it. But, a lot of people like that. They don't need their guns to be showy. They just want them to be easy to carry, easy to conceal. Although in Wisconsin, I don't know what you're concealing it from. I guess maybe you're afraid that the squirrels are going to find out you're carrying a gun. I don't know. But still, this is a really nice, simple, basic carry gun. And it's being carried by Tyler in Wisconsin, the Ruger LC9S Pro. All right, next we have Vin. And that's another one of the names today that I don't think is actually a name. Although he is from Arizona, so maybe that's just all of his name he could remember after multiple heat strokes lately. But he's carrying a gun I really like, the Ruger Red Hawk, and he's carrying it in 45 Colts. This is a man's choice in firearms right here. This is a guy who pees standing up outdoors while kicking rattlesnakes. This is a macho choice. Now watch Vin turn out to be an interior decorator or something and make me look like a fool here. But at least his taste in guns is amazing. I love this gun. One of the best guns I've seen so far. And I've seen a lot of good guns, but this one is really right up my alley. It's Vin in Arizona and his Ruger Red Hawk in 45 Colt. All right, next we have Brian W. from Michigan. And stop trying to spell Brian with a Y. What is it with people trying to do that these days? Brian is spelled B-R-I-A-N, and that way when you misspell it, it's brain, like my brother's dad did. Misspelled his own son's name when we went bowling one time. So stop it with the fancy spellings on these simple names. But Brian is from Michigan, and he's carrying a Glock 25. And I actually had to look up what a Glock 25 is, and apparently it's basically a Glock 19, but in .380. This is a gun for someone who says, you know what, I really like my medium-sized gun. The only thing I don't really like about it is the caliber is too capable and the rounds are too affordable. So I want something weaker and more expensive to shoot. And that's basically what you're saying when you get a Glock 25. But then I remembered he is from Michigan and he's probably brain damaged from all the lead in the water up there. So it makes a little more sense when you think about where he's from. It is Brian W. in Michigan and his Glock 25. All right, next we have Wheel Gun on Wheels from North Carolina. And he's carrying a Smith & Wesson 19 Carry Comp. This is an awesome gun. And I was going to make fun of the fact that it's sitting on some tie-dye, had some hippie jokes and stuff all ready to go. And then I saw in his email that he's in a wheelchair. So I think that would be a hate crime if I said anything bad, and I would probably get canceled. So I'm just going to say, great choice in guns. Very nice choice in guns, and love the shirt. This is Wheel Guns on Wheels in North Carolina, carrying his Smith & Wesson 19 Carry Comp. All right, that's installment 4. Keep your eyes open in the next day or two for part 5. So this is Wheel Gun on Wheels, which I guess that makes sense when you realize, why is it doing fireworks in the background of my...